The thing in the pines. The sound came first, low, wet, and guttural. Not a growl, a warning. By the time they realized what was watching them from the tree line, it was already too late to run. They arrived at dusk, laughing, bickering, burdened with gear. The four of them, Logan, Sarah, Evan, and Tara, had been planning this backwoods trip for months. No phones, no reception, just trees, fire, and friends. They pitched 2 tents beside a shallow stream and set up camp with practiced ease. Logan was the outdoorsman, utility knives and compact survival gear in tow. Sarah and Tara handled the food. Evan, predictably, wandered around with a GoPro strapped to his chest, documenting their return to primal living. The pines here were old, tall. They reached so high, the sky disappeared before twilight even began. The canopy soaked in the fading light like ink into cotton. Everything was silent, save for the occasional drip of water from pine needles. And somewhere deeper, an odd rustle. Low, rhythmic, heavy. Logan chalked it up to a deer. Evan called it the wilderness saying hello. They lit the fire and forgot about it. That night, Tara awoke to the sound of something brushing against the tent. She held her breath, heart pounding. The fire had burned down to glowing embers, casting the forest in flickering shadows. She heard it again, something dragging against the canvas. A sniff, then silence. She whispered, "Sarah?" The other girls stirred but didn't answer. Tara slowly unzipped the tent door, poked her head out, and froze. Something stood at the edge of the clearing, just beyond the firelight. She could see its silhouette, a towering shape, hunched forward. It wasn't a bear. Not really. It was too large. Limbs too long. The arms wrong. Like they'd been stretched. She blinked, and it was gone. Vanished into the trees without a sound. She zipped the tent shut and curled up next to Sarah, shaking. In the morning, she told the others. "Probably a black bear," Logan said, trying to hide the tension in his jaw. "They wander close sometimes." "But it didn't move like one," Tara insisted. Its back legs were twisted. Sarah wrapped her arms around her. "You just had a bad dream. It's the woods. Everything seems scarier in the dark." But at the edge of the clearing, they found prints. Deep ones. Not paw-shaped. More like deformed hands. The second night, Logan brought out the rifle. "Just in case," he said. They stayed close to the fire, eyes scanning the tree line. The joking and laughter from earlier had faded, replaced by tight smiles and wary glances. Evan played back some of his footage, trying to lighten the mood, but even he looked uneasy. Around midnight, something screamed in the woods. Not a fox, not a mountain lion, something bigger. A roar, drawn out and bubbling, like it came from a throat filled with mucus. The trees echoed it back a second too late, like the forest itself was afraid to repeat it. Logan stood and raised the rifle. "I want to see what that was," he muttered. "No way, man," Evan said. "You don't chase noises like that." But Logan was already moving. Tara grabbed his arm. "Please don't go." He hesitated, then nodded. "All right. We stick together." They doubled the firewood and kept it roaring all night. No one slept. By morning, Sarah was gone. Her tent was unzipped. Her sleeping bag lay empty. No signs of struggle. No sounds had woken the others. Tara screamed. Logan ran upstream. Evan went downstream. They searched for an hour before Tara screamed again, Logan's name echoing through the trees. Evan reached her first. She was kneeling by the stream, staring at the water. Red swirls drifted over rocks like paint. What is that? Evan stammered. Hair, Tara whispered. Oh my God. That's Sarah's hair. They followed the current until it disappeared into a marsh too dense to cross. No more blood, no more signs. Logan met them there. His face was pale, eyes wide. It dragged her, he said. I found the prints again, drag marks, whatever this thing is. It took her alive. No, Tara sobbed. No, she was right next to me. How could it have? Evan didn't speak. He just turned his GoPro back on and tightened the straps. Suddenly, out of nowhere, they heard it. No roar, no dragging, no warning. It crashed through the trees like a freight train, a hulking, steaming mass of torn fur and exposed bone. Its face barely resembled a bear, one eye massive and bulging, the other a gaping socket. Its mouth stretched too wide, filled with layered rows of jagged teeth, some too human. Its paws were grotesque, claws like scythes, knuckled like fists. Evan barely screamed before it swiped him aside like a doll, sending him tumbling into the woods with a sickening crack. Logan fired, once, twice. The bullets tore into its flank. It staggered, howling, but didn't fall. It lunged at him, claws flashing. Tara ran. She didn't look back. She ran until her legs gave out, until her lungs burned and her throat tasted of blood. She didn't hear it anymore, but that didn't mean it had stopped chasing. Collapsed by a fallen tree, she heard another rustle, softer behind her. She spun, heart in her throat. Logan. He limped toward her, covered in blood. He dropped beside her. You're alive, she breathed. Barely. He groaned. It tore my side open. I hit it. Got it in the eye. I think it backed off. Or was it? I don't know, he whispered. But it's not natural. They stayed hidden for hours. They decided to go back for Evan. If he'd survived, he might be bleeding out. Logan insisted, though he could barely walk. Tara helped him hobble. They found Evan's body hanging in a tree. No, impaled. A broken branch jutted through his torso like a spear. His mouth was frozen in a scream, one eye missing. His GoPro still blinked red on his chest. Tara climbed up to retrieve it. If they made it out, someone needed to know. Then they heard it again, deep, guttural breathing. It was close. They ducked low and crept away, but Logan stumbled on a root and fell. Tara tried to help, but the thing burst through the brush, faster than before, a blur of black fur and blood-slicked teeth. Logan shoved her aside. Run! It was on him before she could scream. The last thing she saw was Logan's mouth forming her name before the creature sank its jaws into his throat. She ran. Tara didn't stop until the sun stood high above the trees. She collapsed in a field of pine needles, trembling. Only she remained. Of the four, just her, and the GoPro, clutched in her shaking hands. She watched the footage. Evan had caught it on camera. Brief glimpses, its face inches from the lens, the way its jaw clicked sideways, the open wound in its abdomen filled with bones, human bones. She uploaded it to her phone, praying for a signal. There was none. An hour later, she found a logging road, then headlights. She collapsed again. The authorities found her alone, bloodied, hysterical, babbling about a monster. The site was searched. No bodies were recovered, no footprints, no blood. Only the camera remained. The last image, when enhanced, showed something behind Tara as she fled through the woods. An eye, glinting, watching. The creature was never found, but something still breathes in the pines. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my stories. It truly means a lot. If you enjoyed this one, please consider liking the video, following, and subscribing for more. Every bit of support helps.